IVM.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Positively Unlimited podcast. I hope that you've tuned into last week's episode where I spoke about delusive decisions. And I spoke a bit about how we make certain career choices or we make certain decisions that make us feel stuck because, say, we've changed our mind or our reality has changed or our desires have changed. I'm talking a little bit more about work today. And, well, it's a term that is thrown at us many times. It's called work-life balance. Some people don't think it's important. They think it's just overrated. Some people think it's absolutely fine to just be chasing your ambitions and your aspirations and your dreams. Some people think it's very, very important. And then there's a bunch of us who give it way too much importance. And you want to understand this, that not giving it any importance and giving it way too much importance, both are damaging, right? But what's the first thing I want to talk to you about when it comes to work-life balance? Well, it's about taking leave, taking your holidays. You must be wondering, what in the world is Chetna talking about today? But so let me tell you a little story. You must be wondering, what in the world is Chetna talking about today? Who takes holidays from work? I mean, I have so much to do. My company might just shut down if I take a leave. How many of y'all think like that? How many of y'all have used the excuse of I have too much work when your family or friends have asked you to travel with them? How many of y'all have not taken a weekend off or not used the long weekend that was available because you had something to do at work? Well, here's what I want you to think about. Do you not take your holidays, which, by the way, in most companies is at least 30 days? And I know that you cannot take all 30 days at one time, but you can take 2 weeks at a time. Also, given how our country works and the number of bank holidays we have, I do know that we have a lot of long weekends, right? So, do you not take your holidays because you really believe that you're the only one who's working in that company and if you leave, it will shut down? Do you not take your holidays because you're afraid you will lose your job? Do you not take your holidays because you've bought into the company's culture and the boss's drama, which says that if you are not working 18 hours a day, then you are not working hard enough and you're not doing a good enough job? Are you working this hard because you want to get a promotion faster? And do you really believe that by not taking your holidays, you will get that promotion? Or then, I still have one last option. Are you not taking your holidays because you have nothing to do and nowhere to go? You don't know what to do with yourself when you are not working. Think about this for a moment right now and ask yourself what stops you from making use of those 30 days which you are entitled to. Let me also say this to you. If you think by working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, you are going to get promoted, it's a 50-50 chance. There might be somebody else out there who works lesser hours than you but works smarter than you. There might be a chance that they'll hire somebody from the outside. And there might be a chance that they don't think you're good enough despite all that you're putting in, or that they have a different role for you in mind. So when I talk about work-life balance, one thing that I'm talking about is take your holidays. Stop giving your job or your office so much importance. Now, let me talk about this even from an entrepreneurial point of view. Let me talk about this for those who are listening in who have their own businesses. When you have your own business, and trust me, I get this because, well, I have my own practice and I know how much work goes into it and how much I'm responsible for. Also, I'm a one-woman show, which means I do everything. So, do I not take my holidays? Do I not take my breaks? Yes, I do. In fact, very long ones. And the reason why I do that is because I know that I need to refuel if I have to do the work that I do at 100%. When it comes to a regular working week, I know that my weekends are more hectic than my weekdays because most people are able to come in on weekends. Well, that means that I work weekends, but that also means that I take at least a day in the week off. This also means that I define my work timings. So as an example, There are people who on a weekday can only come in the evening. Most people are working 9 to 5 jobs. Even if they're running their own business, they have certain office timings. And on a weekday, it's easier for them to come see me in the evenings, possibly at 7, 7:30, sometimes even 8. So if I'm only going to finish my work at 10 p.m. at night, I am starting at 8 a.m. in the morning. I usually start my workday only at 11 or sometimes later. And I use my mornings for myself, whether it's working out, whether it's meditating, whether it's going and meeting a friend for breakfast. I do things that refuel me. And I take my holidays, I take my breaks because they are important. So I want you to ask yourself this. At what point did you start believing that your company will shut down if you are not in office? At what point did you start repeating, I just have so much work to do? At what point did you start responding to someone's invite to do something on the weekend or go somewhere for a holiday or just for a weekend trip? At what point did you start responding to that with, not this weekend, I just have so much to do, there's so much happening in the office these days? So you want to think about this. Work-life balance means you are standing at the center of your life, and work, family, relationships, friends, social life, everything rotates and revolves around you. When this is imbalanced and everything is focused on working and fulfilling ambitions, you have essentially put work at the center of this wheel of life, and you are standing on the sidelines, which means you may be earning a lot of money and you may be doing really, really well at a very high post, but do you have the time to spend that money? Do you have the time to spend with your family and friends with whom you can celebrate and share your victories? When you get promoted, when you make CEO of a company, and when you start earning in maybe crores, how are you going to celebrate it if you're going to be working 20 hours, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week? And if you are doing that right now, 10 years into your career, you will not be able to work any less than that because it will become a habit. And then when you have free time, even if you choose to take the free time, you won't know what to do with yourself. A few weeks ago, I did an episode called Juggling Life. You want to listen to that episode and you want to create the wheel of life. You want to understand that you should always be at the center of your life. Not your work, not your dream, not your love life, not your family. You should be at the center of your life. Also brings me to another point when it comes to work-life balance. A lot of us don't really step out of work and we spend all our time chasing those aspirations because we don't know what to do with ourselves outside of work. And if that is you, if you are listening to me right now, that is something you want to work upon immediately. Build a hobby, do something, find an interest. You don't have to make best friends wherever you go, but you need to make connections. And you need to have different sets of people that you can spend time with, hang out with, do constructive things with. You should always know what you will do with yourself if you cannot work. Think about this. So as I sign off today, I'll also say this. I know that a lot of us don't step out of work and do things because we find it hard to make friends. Well, there are a couple of episodes that I've done on friendship. You want to look those up. Go back to the previous episodes. There's a bunch of them that can help you in many different areas of your life. But today, if you are listening to this, it's a Monday. Just give this a try. Maybe just for 1 week, just this week, you figure out how to have more balance in your days. You figure out how you can work, spend time with family and friends, do something for yourself, exercise maybe, and just have a week that has more than just work happening in it. Try it for 1 week. And whatever is your experience, share it with me on Instagram. My handle is @PositivityAngel. And all the previous episodes that I have mentioned in this episode are available on the IVM website as well as the IVM podcast app. I hope you've downloaded it. And IVM has a brand new show. Well, this one's called Boundless by Natasha Malpani, and she's talking about the secrets and stories behind the poems that she penned down in her debut book of the same name, Boundless. But that's not all. There are 2 more shows launching on IVM. The second one's called Postcards from Nowhere, and Utsav Momoria talks about his travels and all the stories, whether they're strange or obscure or even funny, episode after episode. And the third one that we have is called Heal and Hearty, hosted by Rachna Chachi, who's a nutritional therapist and certified cancer coach. Well, she talks about the big C, the scary C, talks about nutrition, and debunks a bunch of myths that may be blocking you from healing. And I will catch you again next Monday with another episode.
Hi guys, this is Ayushi.
And I am Ritasha.
And welcome to Agla Station Adulthood.
It's a fun podcast we've got going on, and we'd love for you to tune in and enjoy with us.
Join us as we stop at various stations and discuss different topics that seem to be bothering us and hopefully
Dating,
you as well.
relationships, beauty, just being an adult, lots of different things.
We don't have a great grip on it, but we've done okay so far.
Catch Agla Station Adulthood every Thursday on the IVM app, the IVM website, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
Look! Up in the internet! It's a meme! No! It's a cat video! No! It's the Geek Fruit Podcast!
That's right, we interrupt this riveting broadcast to tell you about our show, the Geek Fruit Podcast, where Tejas, Dinkar and I, Jishnu, talk about everything in pop culture, including DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Netflix, and everything in between.
You know how your friends hate it when you ramble about some nerdy crap and you just want somebody to listen to you? Well, sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, but come listen to us ramble and it'll almost be like the real thing. Kind of.
Listen to new episodes of the Geek Fruit Podcast every Monday and the Geek Fruit Bulletin every Thursday on iTunes, Google Podcasts, the IVM app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Happy listening, you nerds.